to use Greek to enrich your Bible reading, there are two really enormous resources on the internet that'll be helpful for you. And I want to share one of them with you today. It's called BibleHub.com, BIBLEHUB.com. This is what it looks like when you arrive. The thing I want to draw your attention to today is the Interlinear New Testament. This is a terrific feature that will help you in your to grow your knowledge of Greek. So there are a couple of ways of getting to a passage. One is using the pull-down menus. John, let's say, you notice that if we choose John, it goes to John 1:1, and we have a pull-down menu that will show you all the verses in the first chapter of John. After you get to that, you get to just overall chapters. So if you want to go to John 11, then you again have a list of verses available to you here. So we can go to John 11:30 in a heartbeat. And I'm going to click on the interlinear. So it will show me a bunch of things. The simpler way and quicker way of getting to a passage is by going to just type in what you want, John 1:1, and there we go to it. So you'll see several features here. In the middle, you have, of course, your Greek. Just above it, the line above is the transliteration. That'll tell you how to pronounce the Greek if you have forgotten that. In arche, ein halagos, kai halagos, in pros ton theon. So it's, I think, good to read verses aloud, helps set them in your mind, helps you get a handle on the Greek as you read it, pros ton. Anything you can do to learn that is good. Immediately below the line of Greek is a simple one-word translation, a wooden translation. It's good as a first approximation to give you an idea of how English translations are built. It is only a first approximation. For instance, logos, certainly translated as word here, but not translated as word everywhere in the New Testament. It has a broader range of meanings, and you'll need to dig a bit deeper to come up with a proper English translation. The line at the bottom, terrifically helpful. If you hover your mouse over it, this gives you an analysis of what the word is that you're looking at, whatever word is there. This tells you that logos is a noun and that it's a nominative masculine singular. If you choose to hover over theon, it tells you it's a noun, accusative masculine singular. Now, to discover more about it, up at the top, you get to lexicon entries. Now, for reasons I don't know, rather than calling, if you have a Greek-English dictionary, rather than calling it a Greek-English dictionary, they call it a Greek lexicon. So this will get you into lexical entries by clicking on these numbers. These are what are called Strong's numbers. There was a guy in the 1800s who developed an index to every word used in the Greek New Testament and every word used in the Hebrew Old Testament, and gave each entry an index number. This was used through the 20th century, and people found Strong's concordance helpful, but it got really new life at the beginning of the computer age, because early on, our computers were not able to display Greek fonts very easily. But what they could do is give you an index number, and that allows you to dig deeper and look up a word using a number, which does not require a Greek font. The other thing is even if you're not very good at reading Greek alphabet, you can click on this and it will let you look something up without having to really understand the Greek alphabet that well, or the order of the Greek alphabet. If you use an English dictionary, you really have to understand the order of the English alphabet to use it properly. Anyway, so this will tell you what the root of the word is, how it's transliterated. It's part of speech. In this case, pros is a preposition. And this gives you a brief definition, toward, at, for. If you go down below it, it will show you how the New American Standard translates it, and that's very helpful. So this tells you that of all the times that pros is used, the New American Standard translates it as about once, accord once, according once, against 21 times. So that tells you that pros is more often against than not. Go on down. Thayer's Greek lexicon. Thayer was a lexicon developed in the late 1800s. It's in the public domain, which is why it's here, because the website users could get it for free and stay legal. It is old, but it's still pretty good. So feel free to dig through this, and this will let you drill down a fair bit deeper. It shows you how the word is used in different passages, which will give you a feel for the word definition range. Technically, what we call this is a lexical range or a semantic range, which is that a word has a range of definitions. It doesn't have just one, which is part of the reason why this is not a proper translation, this line in red, the second line, because it just gives you a one-word translation of a Greek word. But for all that, hugely helpful. I absolutely recommend this. This is a good place to go. There are some non-standard features about this BibleHub Interlinear. First of all, they tend to follow English capitalization rules. So you're going to see words like theon or theos, for God. Here's the theos form. This is the nominative masculine singular. As you've already learned, Greek words come in different flavors, and part of the meaning of a word is tied up in the suffix, in the letters that you tag on to the end of the word. In English, we tend to use this by using more words. Greek uses fewer words, but lots and lots of suffixes. So that's why understanding the role of a word in a sentence or the translation of a word, you need to understand the analysis of the word, in this case for a noun, that it's a nominative and not a genitive or accusative. So it's going to give you uppercase endings, logos, uppercase. If you can't remember, actually we've not used uppercase letters much in this class, but I do give you here a key for understanding. If you're going to this interlinear and don't know what the letter is you're looking at, you can look at that and say, oh, that is an uppercase version of the L sound, the L letter. If you want to see a more straight ahead use of Greek, go to the SBL GNT. I did that by clicking on Language, and this is the Society of Biblical Languages Greek New Testament, published in 2010, and it is really a very standard approach. And you'll notice that logos is not capitalized. Theon, for God, is not capitalized. Here's a theos, the nominative. Also, everything uses lowercase. It tends to use uppercase at the beginning of paragraphs. So you still do need to learn uppercase letters, but in the body of the paragraph, it tends to use uppercase only for, hang on, I need to sneeze. Oh, baby. Oh, I feel better now. Tends to use it only for proper names like Moses, and logos and theos in standard Greek are not considered proper names, but common names, common nouns. The other thing that we'll find, let's go back so I can compare. Let's go to BibleHub. Let's go to the interlinear. Let's go to John, say 11, I think it's 26. Yes. One thing that's quite odd about this interlinear is they use totally non-standard punctuation in some cases. If we want to see John 11, 26, here's John 11, 26, and you'll notice that it finishes, John 11, 26, you'll notice it finishes with a semicolon. This is the way that Greek, standard ancient Greek, the standard way of writing ancient Greek, to get a question mark is done with a semicolon and not an English style question mark. This character is not used in standard Greek. So you'll have to take this with a grain of salt. I have in this web page on lesson 7, I've tried to remind you of what the standard Greek is. So if you want a question mark in Greek, you do it with what in English we call a semicolon. If you want a semicolon, then you do that with just a dot halfway up the line, a period halfway up the line. Periods and commas are the same in English and Greek. So I've done that so that if you use the SBL GNT or any more modern Greek text, you'll be able to recognize the punctuation. This will get you started though. This is for all the little ups and downs in this version, this interlinear, the little quirks. It is a hugely useful resource, and the ability to get into look up a word with just a single mouse click is fantastic. Oh, the other things I haven't pointed out, you will notice as you browse around here, they have a concordance showing you the word being used in a bunch of different contexts, so you can get a feel for how it's translated. That'll help give you a bit of a background for understanding Thayer's lexicon. And again, I want to review the New American Standard Exhaustive Concordance. This is all of the uses of this Greek word in the New Testament, how they translated it. So this word believed or believe, believers, believing, to entrust. An interesting translation of the word. So pistuo is not always to believe, but sometimes to have trust in, to entrust. Anyway, this interlinear will get you onto all of that.